It's World Cup scout Spain's WC play safe after FIFA talks. Spanish officials appear to have guaranteed their nation's spot in Russia after they held talks with FIFA Secretary-General Fatma Zamora on Monday. FIFA had issued a warning to the Spanish Football Federation over government interference in the election of the organization's new president and threatened to ban them from competing at the World Cup. Their concerns stemmed from the recommendations of the government's National Sports Council that elections be held to replace disgraced boss Angel Maria Villar. FIFA sources confirmed after the meeting with Spanish officials that the nation's participation in the World Cup is not in danger. Spain are going to Russia despite political concern. Source of Peru faced a similar expulsion threat in December as El Bocon that reported a new piece of Peruvian legislature worry the sport's governing body of political intervention. FIFA are strongly opposed to any form of political interference and made it clear to the Peru Football Federation (FPF) that they risk being suspended by the world governing body if the bill passed. As we have mentioned, in case the identified aspects were applied, Article 14 could be contravened, in accordance with Articles 16 and 19 of the FIFA statutes, which state that all member federations must manage their affairs independently and to ensure that there is no interference by third parties in their internal affairs. FIFA's letter to the federation said, in case there is a breach of these obligations, the case will be referred to the higher instances of FIFA for consideration and possible sanction if it is the case, among which could be the suspension of the FPF. It has since been confirmed that the South American nation will compete in Russia. England kit leaked. England's new kit for the World Cup has reportedly been leaked, a month ahead of its scheduled announcement. Nike are expected to unveil the new Three Lions home shirt before the international break in March, but footyheadlines.com appear to have beaten them to the punch. The site posted professional photos of the alleged World Cup kit, which goes back to a traditional all-white look in lieu of the blue sleeves sported by the English national side in recent times. England are expected to debut their new strip at Wembley when they face Italy on March 27. Nike are also set to reveal a new red kit, which is rumored to be making its first appearance in a friendly against the Netherlands 4 days earlier. Footyheadlines.com have leaked England's World Cup kit. Source supplied. Footyheadlines.com have leaked England's World Cup kit. Source supplied. Footyheadlines.com have leaked England's World Cup kit. Source supplied. Koeman to be named Netherlands coach. Former Everton manager Ronald Koeman is set to be presented as coach of the Netherlands, Dutch news reports said on Monday. As the football-mad country seeks to revive its flagging fortunes, Ronald Koeman is the new national coach of the Dutch 11. The KNVB will present him at a press conference on Tuesday, Dutch national news agency ANP reported, citing insider sources. Koeman, 54, who was sacked by Everton in October after a string of defeats saw the Toffees fall into the relegation zone, will be taking over from Dick Advocaat, the latest in a raft of unsuccessful appointments since 2014. Advocaat was appointed in May last year for a third stint as national coach, but stepped down 7 months later after the once mighty Orange failed to qualify for the World Cup finals in Russia. Dutch manager Ronald Koeman. Source: Koeman's appointment as the new trainer does not come as a surprise, the ANP said, with news reports adding the blonde-haired Koeman was already earmarked back in 2014 to replace Louis van Gaal, who left the Dutch squad after taking them to third place in the World Cup in Brazil, and joined Manchester United. But instead, the Royal Dutch Football Federation KNVB appointed another stalwart, Gus Hiddink, who was then replaced by Danny Blind, followed by Advocaat, all in the space of just over 3.5 years as the national team slumped from one disappointment to another, missing out on qualification for both the 2016 Euros and then 2018 World Cup. An attack-minded central defender, Koeman picked up 78 caps as a player between 198,294, scoring 14 goals. He started his coaching career at Vitesse in 2000, having already served as Hiddink's assistant with the Dutch national team at the 1998 World Cup. Koeman will stay on until the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, popular daily tabloid De Telegraaf said on Friday. Koeman's sacking at Everton came as a gift from heaven for the KNVB and led to an eventual marriage between Koeman and the federation, the paper said. WC refs gather in Qatar. Referees from 4 countries boycotting Qatar attended a high-profile FIFA World Cup seminar in Doha on Monday, despite the ongoing Gulf political crisis. Representatives from Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Egypt were at the opening of the referees' seminar, an almost week-long event which will help football's governing body decide on the final list of those who will officiate at this year's World Cup in Russia. Their presence came despite a bitter 8-month dispute which has seen Qatar, the 2022 World Cup hosts, isolated by neighboring countries over Doha's alleged support for terrorism and improved relations with Iran, Saudi Arabia's arch-regional rival. Doha denies the allegations. From LR referee Nawaf Shukral of Bahrain, referee Ryuji Sato of Japan and UAE referee Mohammad I. Abdullah attend the 2018 FIFA World Cup Russia Referees Seminar opening ceremony in Doha. Source AFP. The event was attended by the 2002 World Cup final referee Pierluigi Collina, now president of the FIFA Referees Committee. He urged the assembled referees to retain their hunger to be selected for Russia. The months between today and the day when the World Cup in Russia kicks off, this period is everything, he said. The referees will practice using the video assistant referee VAR system during their stay in Doha, said Massimo Busacca, FIFA's head of refereeing, ahead of its expected use in Russia. Asked how many referees would be selected for the 2018 World Cup, Busacca said FIFA was looking for quality not quantity. Di Biagio takes over Italy temporarily. Italy under-21 coach Luigi Di Biagio was promoted to take over the senior national team on a caretaker basis on Monday for friendlies against Argentina and England next month. The Azzurri have been without a coach since November, when Gian Piero Ventura was fired following a playoff loss to Sweden that ruled Italy out of the World Cup for the first time in 6 decades. Di Biagio's first job is to restore enthusiasm and dedication, said Roberto Fabbricini, who was appointed last week as the Italian Football Federation's emergency commissioner. We're confident he'll be up to the job. Italy plays Argentina in Manchester, England, on March 23, then England in London 4 days later. The Azzurri's next competitive fixture isn't until September 7 against Poland in the inaugural UEFA Nations League. Luigi Di Biagio has been appointed caretaker manager of Italy. Source AFP. The 46-year-old Di Biagio played for Italy as a midfielder at the 1998 and 2002 World Cups. It's a big opportunity, Di Biagio said. I can't wait to start. We've got 2 big, difficult matches. Fortunately I know well 80% of the kids who are part of the national team, and I even had the chance to play with some of them. Roberto Mancini, Carlo Ancelotti and former Italy coach Antonio Conte are among those being considered for the full-time job. Last week, Fabbricini mentioned Mancini as a candidate. On Monday, he also mentioned current Nantes manager Claudio Ranieri as a possibility. Ranieri is no less appealing than Mancini. He's got the credentials, Fabbricini said, but we need to be attentive from a procedural point of view. Many of these coaches are currently under contract. Either they free themselves up or it will be difficult to ask them to consider the job. Fabbricini also suggested many current Serie A coaches could be considered, perhaps referring to Massimiliano Allegri at 6-time defending champion Juventus. It's Alessandro Costa-Curta's job to get in contact with the candidates, Fabbricini said, referring to his vice commissioner and the former AC Milan and Italy defender.